Hi, this is Jade Edmondson, and this is my data protocol for Module 17. On this screen, you can see a screenshot of the two-page document that I created. This is mostly for use in PLCs because my school has actually a lot of a time allotted each month for PLCs. So this would be the document that we would use at our PLC meetings. I've broken it down into a 6-step process. I'll go into each of those in detail, but right here you can see that step 1 is identifying the critical question. Step 2, assumptions and predictions. Step 3, data observations. Step 4, data inferences. Step 5, an action plan, and step 6, evaluate. And so you can see that this fits nicely on 2 full sheets of paper and could also be in a Google Drive document so that it can be edited and looked at over time. So at the top of the first page, I listed just sort of some things that I think would be helpful to have and remind the staff as we are about to look at some data. So I listed our school goals that are on our website. We have 3 of them. I listed the core paradigms that go along with the Leader in Me, which is a program that our school is affiliated with. And so those sort of set your mind in the right mindset for our goals and our purposes for what we do at school. And then I also listed some expectations for PLCs, which would just keep everybody on the same page, keep everybody moving in the right direction, and make sure that people know what is expected of them during this time that we have together. So step 1 is where you identify the critical question. What do you want the data to tell you? It could be identifying a percentage of students or identifying standards. You have to identify that question first before we can move on to looking at the data. Step 2 is done before taking out the data and sharing it with each other, and you're identifying what assumptions you already hold about the data and the topic of the data, and then what predictions do you have. And this sets you up to sort of identify whether you already have preconceived notions, and then later on whether the data confirmed or did not confirm those. Step 3 is where you start to actually look at the data and just do your initial observations. What do you notice right away, and what patterns do you see? Step 4 is where you start making inferences about the data. What strengths do you see? What gaps do you see? Which students are affected? What could be the root causes? What data is missing? Step 5 is where you actually make an action plan. How will you address the problems that you identified in the data in step 4? Here on the left, you list possible solutions. Once you decide on a solution or more that you are going to take, then in the middle, you list action steps to reach that goal. And then on the right, you list resources that you might need and also who can help. You can identify support staff, specialists. If you need to go to the administration for anything, that would be listed in that area. And finally, step 6 is where you evaluate. This is sort of setting you up for the next meeting of how will you evaluate the progress based on your action plan, by when do you need to have this done, and then any notes for the next meeting where you will basically go through this process again by looking at your new set of data and seeing if you have been moving in the right direction or if you need to create a new plan. So how will teachers react when given this data protocol? At my school, I think that many of us are looking for something new to use during PLCs. We have a document that they've required us to use in the past that is not so helpful for us. It requires us to just do a lot of copying data in there that we already have in our classrooms, and we feel like it's just for logistical reasons and not really engaging in discussion. So I think we would be open to having something that's more discussion-based to record our observations. And how can this be adapted for different subjects and groups of people? Well, I kept it specifically pretty open and not specific to subject areas or standards, so that it could be used for specials teacher standards, for ELA, math, science, social studies standards. It should be able to be used for any of that. Thank you.